Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Isaac Inspires. I appreciate you guys for checking out the channel, for supporting it, for liking the videos, and subscribing and stuff. If you haven't already, you know how this goes. I'll wait. Cool. So I appreciate you guys checking out the channel. Um, this one right here goes for my bass player. So if you're a bass player, get on your feet, make some noise. I'm playing. No, please sit down. Thanks. No, but this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Bass is, if not my favorite instrument, it's one of my favorite instruments. There's so much you can do with it. You understand harmonies in such a different way when you actually play bass. So it's great. It's a lot of fun. If you're looking for an instrument to play, bass. Bass is your instrument. So we're going to talk about a few things. I took a poll a couple days ago talking about some things that you guys maybe wanted to hear, learn about, and hear me talk about. And I got so many responses, and I'm super grateful for all of y'all that responded. I really, 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 really appreciate you guys. I got things like going over my covers, breaking down some of my covers that I've already done, and things like when to shed, when to groove, kind of advice with that. And so I'll definitely do videos talking about all those different things. But the one thing, or the two things really, that came up the most, and they work hand in hand, and so I actually love that this happened, was dexterity and speed. So speed and dexterity were the two biggest things, and so I'm going to talk about those two things today. I'm going to talk about the three things that you need in order to build speed. And then I'm going to give you guys 2 or 3 exercises for dexterity and speed as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. So when we're talking about speed, there are 3 things that are very, very, very important to know. Okay, the first thing is that you need a metronome. This sounds corny, this sounds cheesy, trust me, but a metronome is the best thing that you can have, and here's why. Think of, let's take Usain Bolt, right? And Usain Bolt runs a 100-meter dash and it's not timed, right? And then Usain Bolt goes for 2 weeks and he does training, and then he comes back and runs another 100, not timed, right? How does he know he's gotten better? How does he know he's gotten faster, right? He may have gotten faster. He also may have regressed. He may have gotten slower. So it's very important to have a metronome, because your metronome is kind of like your benchmark, like your PR. That's going to help you in order to figure out whether you're on the right track or whether you need to do something differently. Are you getting faster? Are you getting slower? What do you need to work on? Things like that. So your metronome is your benchmark. Okay, so it's very important to have. So they have obviously the physical metronomes. They have metronome apps. So for your phone, tablet, laptop. If you use a recording software like Logic, Cubase, Pro Tools, Ableton, Reason, Mixcraft, there's so many. So if you use that, obviously they have tempo markings and metronomes in there too. So do not be afraid of a metronome. Trust me, a metronome is your best friend. It sometimes will expose you too, which is a good thing. You need that. You need that in order to grow and to become better. So, and this is again for all musicians, just not for bass players. Okay, keyboard players, guitar players, drummers especially, but bass players too, just to build your speed, to get you on time and things like that. So a metronome is the first thing that you're gonna need. Second thing that you're gonna need is you're gonna need to have an understanding of your fretboard, okay? Fretboard knowledge, or you'll hear some people say knowing your bass, okay? Knowing your bass is something like this. So let's say I'm here, I'm grooving. And then you'll hear sometimes someone will go like, they'll do something wild up here and then come right back. So it's like, how did you get from here to down here, all the way back up here, like that, and not miss a beat, not miss a note or anything like that? That's fretboard knowledge. It's knowing your bass. And so I'm gonna do a whole separate video on that and kind of the techniques and the tricks to knowing your bass. The thing you guys probably noticed already, if you have your bass with you, is that this is actually not G. This is F. So I tune my bass to A, which is kind of weird for some people. For some people, it's really normal. I tune to A. Some people tune to B flat, and most of you guys probably tune to B. Okay, all of them are fine. It doesn't really matter. It's just kind of a preference thing. I just like A because it feels better to me. I love the low end. It's kind of like a sub. You get into that sub frequency, so I kind of like that. I like the feel of it too. So, but yeah. So fretboard knowledge, knowing your bass, is very, very, very important. It'll help you build speed because it'll help you go from here to wherever you want to get to, and then back like nothing ever happened, right? So that's the cool thing about fretboard knowledge, and that is something that I will go over, like I said, in another video. Make sure that I break that down completely so that you guys know how to do that as well. The third thing that you're going to need is the thing I'm going to talk about today, and that is dexterity. Now, dexterity simply means finger independence, okay? So it's like the strength of each one of your fingers. So how many times, maybe if you're this person or maybe you know someone that's like this, where you're playing and you may play like, instead of a major scale like this, you may do it like this or like this, you know, where you're kind of moving around and you're shifting and you're alternating between fingers. That is not what you want to do. Okay, it may work for you, and that's cool. I used to play with 3 fingers like all the time, so trust me. It's one of those like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type things. But in this case, we do want to fix it because playing with 1, 2, or even 3 fingers will limit your speed and will limit what you're able to do. So we want to make sure that we build that finger independence. So there's a couple of exercises that I'm going to show you guys that will work for independence and that will work for speed as well. But with all these exercises, you want to use a metronome. Okay, I can't stress that enough. You want to use a metronome so that you can figure out where you're at, figure out how you want to grow, how you want to get better, how you want to get faster. So what you want to do is you want to number each one of your fingers. Okay, so your pointer is 1, middle is 2, ring is 3, pinky is 4. Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to place each finger on 1 fret. Okay. So it doesn't matter where you're at, wherever it feels comfortable for you. So for me, let's say right here, right? And what I want to do is I want to play each note with each finger, okay? Just coming straight down. So I'm going to start on the highest string, and then I'm going to work my way back a string, and then back a string, back a string, back a string. And then what I'm going to do when I get to my lowest string is I'm going to reverse the order in which I just played in. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to go 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come back up the bass. Okay, so it sounds like. All right. So the really cool thing about this exercise is, number 1, right out the bat, it'll test you, because if you play like this, and your fingers are everywhere, like your fingers are like, you know, coming up all over the place and stuff like that, that's not what you want. And that'll kind of show you where you're at, and where you want to get to is the place where your fingers don't move much at all. Okay, so you want your fingers like here instead of here. You want them here. Okay. That's what you want. Now, this is also a speed exercise because, as you can see what I was doing with my right hand, I was playing each note singularly. But if I know how fast I can get this clean, then I can push myself, as I'm trying to do right now, to play it as fast as I can. Now, back to the left hand, what you want to do is, like I said, I had you guys number these 1 through 4, is you don't have to play them just 1, 2, 3, 4. You can play 1, 3, 2, 4. So 1, 3, 2, 4. And then on the way back, you reverse it, right? So it's 4, 2, 3, 1. 1, 4, 2, 3. Right, reverse it on the way back. 4, 2, 1, 3. I'll do 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, 3. So, right. So I'm not editing this out because I want to show you guys the process, like how I go about, trying to mix up the numbers so I can build my independence and so I can build my speed too, right? None of us are perfect. I'm not doing this because I mastered this. I'm doing this just to show you guys what I've done over time to try to, get to where I'm at now and try to get even better than that. So, yeah, it's a work in progress. Trust me. It's something that's going to take time. You're not going to become the Flash overnight. So it's going to take time, but it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. So make sure you guys are doing that. Now, again, like I said, you want to use a metronome, time yourself. Now, the beautiful thing about it is once you're doing this, it's going to hurt. Your hands are going to cramp. Like when you do this long enough, your hands are going to start cramping. And that's a good thing. It means it's working. Okay, just shake it out. Give yourself like 10, 15, 20 seconds. Shake it out and then come right back. Now, you'll know when you're really doing well when you can start doing your dexterity exercises at the top of your base. And the reason is what that means is that your fingers are stretching and that your fingers are getting stronger. Okay, so you may start down here. You may be down here, but when you can start getting down here, you're growing, right? And hand size doesn't really have anything to do with it, to be honest. It's more about your stretch. Now, obviously, if you have like really, really small hands, then yeah, that might have something to do with it. But for the average human, guy or girl, this is something that's possible. Aim for it, shoot for it. Even if you never get to it, the closer you get to it, the better, right? So that's an exercise you guys can do. Again, number your fingers and then pick random numbers. Push yourself. Try to see what your speed is. Your speed doing 1, 2, 3, 4s is not going to be your speed doing 3, 2, 4, 1s because they're different, right? And so find what challenges you, find what pushes you, find what makes you uncomfortable. Focus on that. Try to get that up to par. Try to get that to where everything else is, so that you can build speed overall. So that's an exercise you can do with your right hand when it comes to building speed. What you can do is take that same exercise. Instead of playing single notes, let me come down here, double them, right? So it's like, no, Batman, that whole thing. But do doubles. Doing the same thing, right? And then reverse. Triples. Right? And so just keep doing that until you get to the point where you're getting faster. You're getting faster. You're getting faster. Your right hand's getting faster. Your left hand's getting faster. And that's going to help you so much when it comes to all the crazy cool licks that you want to do, down the bass. So yeah, guys, like, do stuff like that. If you know your major scale, there are variations, or your minor scale or your blues scale. There's so many scales. But there are variations of that you can do too. So like, for instance, your major scale like this. Most of you have probably heard your major scale as an exercise done. Right, as an exercise. Some of you guys have heard right, and so on and so forth, as an exercise. So if you know how to do that, do that. It's another way to learn finger independence. I will do this particular exercise in my finger independence video. So if you don't know how to do that yet, just wait on it. I'll do that, or you can look it up online, of course, too. But yeah, doing that, building speed off of that, things like that. Just the biggest thing is when it comes to dexterity, it's about making sure that your 4 fingers are working independently. that you're not overcompensating for a weakness by using another finger. All right, you want to force that finger to grow, to become stronger, to learn. And so it doesn't really matter what the exercise is, as long as it's forcing you to stay in this range. Or if you're sliding, of course, to slide with that range, so that your fingers are learning how to be independent of each other. And then, of course, for the right hands, doubles, triples, even just muting the bass and going, and just trying to get that as fast as you can. Those are all great exercises. So you guys can do those. That'll build speed. That'll build dexterity. That'll build strength in your fingers, and you'll be able to do all the other cool stuff that you want to do down the line. But you got to start with the basics first. So that's why I wanted to do this video first. And yeah, so I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, for liking the content, for subscribing, for commenting, and it really means a lot. Like I said, I did this because I wanted it to be a community that we could all be a part of. The motto is "Let's grow together," because I really want us to grow together and to learn from each other. So if there's things that you guys have learned when it comes to speed dexterity, please share them in the comments. If this video helps you, share it in the comments. If you have any other advice for other people, share it. It's a community. Like the video if it helps you guys. Subscribe. There is more content coming up. I've already gone through some of it. I will be putting covers up. I will be breaking down my covers, so make sure that you guys subscribe. Yeah, I love you guys, man. Appreciate you guys. Keep going. Bass is fun. I was gonna say bass is life, but the other things are life, like God and music in general. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you guys again. Love y'all. I'll see you on the next one.